wholesale's dead, everybody's closed, don't focus on it. And
Yeah.
the reality, like any industry, things change. There's some incredible growth within specialty store retail. That is,
100%.
I mean, we see it in
100%.
with our own clients. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's easy and that the units are as massive, of course, as a large department store, but there is a resurgence to a specialty store retailer because it is the hometown store kind of. It's wonderful. I'm excited about it.
Hi, and welcome to Handbag Designer 101, the podcast with your host, Emily Blumenthal, handbag industry expert and the handbag fairy godmother. Each week, we uncover the stories behind the handbags we love, from the iconic brands and top designers to the creativity, craftsmanship, and culture that define the handbag world. Whether you're a designer, collector, or simply passionate about handbags, this is your front row seat to it all. Welcome, Nancy Forman, Fancy Nancy Forman of the Accessories Think Tank. Welcome back to Handbag Designer 101, the podcast. I'm recording live right now from FIT because, well, nobody's here and I'm in a classroom. It's actually my old classroom. I like this room very much. So, but that's it. Enough about me. Welcome. What's going on, Nancy?
What is going on? So many unique avenues of business and the Rubik's Cube of how to navigate through in the new world.
Girl, tell me. Just because you and I could talk for a billion hours, I want to dive right in because we can. How many designers are you working with right now?
80% are very long-term relationships.
Okay. So in terms of let's just dive right in. I love a handbag trend talk. It's my jam. What are you seeing? What are the requests? What's going on in the big bad world of handbags? Go.
I've said this for a year and a half, 2 years, clutches.
You still think clutches for sure.
100%. I think that what is incredibly refreshing for me is the market was so clean. So the element of elevated embellishment,
Such
why
as?
embroidery and hand beading, I think is quite beautiful. I'm not saying that it hasn't always existed, yet I think it was extreme in how it translates. And now it's coming back into the designer collections, which ultimately influence fashion. It's beautiful.
Are these clutches coming with crossbody straps? Can we talk about that for an hour?
Sell to the masses, live with the classes. Sell to the classes, live with the masses. You'll sell more with the crossbody strap. Yet I do believe in general, personally, any designer who studies the marketplace, is informed, and makes a decision based on their point of view and aesthetic in a way that they want their customer to understand styling and design. It is the designer's decision to not always do what is expected, because then it becomes predictable.
Okay. But at the end of the day, things do sell better with a crossbody strap.
Yes, they do. Same time, as I just shared, I think in this day and age, to really, really push in regards to why one designs, creates, and develops to launch a product and the connectivity to their community in how they envision that aesthetic to be and look. I think it feels refreshing to not just say, well, I have to do black leather because it sells. I must do a tote because they sell. I think stepping away from that and really targeting and defining, that really does come off from our conversation of what's happening in trend. Yet maybe that's a trend. True, targeted, unique individuality of design and customization.
Okay. So let's talk about customization, because at the end of the day, customizing costs money. It requires a lot of limitation. And when you limit, although it's good for standing out, it gets expensive. So what do you feel about customization? Because you and I work with designers all the time, and the amount of designers I've worked with who've said, oh, it's a limited edition. Oh, it's one of a kind. You and I both know that that translates to you couldn't figure out a way to duplicate it, no matter how hard you try, at least with the designers I have, because selling something that's one of a kind ups the price. You have no way that you can scale. You can't copy paste that, and it makes it complicated. It does. It does. And, at the end of the day, I had just spoke specifically to one designer who wanted to do something extremely specific that was down to something religious. And I said, although that's really wonderful and spiritual, God does not want you to be poor. So for you to dump all your money into this one concept when you haven't done a deep enough dive to see how sellable is it? How big is your market? Who would buy it? Are there enough people like you who'd want to buy something that is religiously inspired? Maybe stop and think before you even start. That's how I handle it. You're much nicer than I am, or you are a lot more patient than I am, but I believe time is money, and that goes for me and it goes for everybody else.
So your question on customization, I would say.
And how do you define customization?
Well, I'm not saying, it's Burger King, have it your way, which is really Matthew's saying. And ultimately, that aspect is another conversation in regards to going to the market, whether it's to a retailer or a consumer, and giving them too many choices. So not talking about that level of customization, talking more about personalization. I mean, we all know self-expression through kid adult nostalgia and handbag charms is, to me, more than a trend.
Yep.
When I've heard people say, well, yeah, that happens and then it goes away. I think that's an old school thinking. I think that self-expression is the trend, but it's not a trend. Self-expression through personalization and customization does not have to be a heavy investment if one knows how to enter properly with the right aesthetic that fits the vibe of the brand. There's certain classifications and key items that the only place you can really do it well without it being completely not affordable would be overseas in Asia. And I truly feel that nobody does it better in certain cases and classifications than Asia. Yet, what if I am a brand whose DNA is focused on more artisanal, or I identify an NGO to partner with, or I think out of the box in regards to bringing forth personalization and customization for handbags through charms, and it isn't leather or non-leather or plastic, which can be done overseas or in Italy, too expensive, and it's done through handcraft and artisanal, or through an ideation of partnering with a manufacturer who does metalwork with enamel. Point being is there are ways in if it makes sense for the DNA of one's brand.
Yeah.
Very often what I do is am able to bring forth a point of view in a design aesthetic that was never explored before, not because it's easy to do. I'm not going to take a brand that's modern and sport related and put artisanal craft in if it doesn't make sense. But point is, you asked me about customization and I explained to you that I believe I think the trend is self-expression. And it's a combination of novelty, nostalgia, kid adult, and also it is really a way to showcase, just like in a sense a t-shirt, through growth of t-shirts, like what I believe in and what I love.
What do you think about, because I've never really spoken about this, I would love to talk about the handbag straps. I mean, this podcast is about handbags. This is about people who obsess, live by the sword. Like, what do you think about handbag straps? And I'm talking about, you have top handles. And it's funny, I can't remember who I was talking to, but someone on the podcast, I was talking to them about handbag handles, and they were like, wait, what? And I said, well, talk to me about that. Because you and I have, we have a fluency. What do you see what's going on in handbag handles? And what do you see that's going on in handbag straps, trend wise?
Well, with
Because they're two different
essential,
things.
well, when you're talking about handbag handles, right? You have the evolution of the satchel, which I love satchels. So I'm
Me
really happy about,
too.
yeah, I
Me
love
too.
satchels.
I love a
And really, I think
satchel.
my favorite satchel of all satchels personally would have been the original Chloe Paddington. And I'm really happy to see the bag back. And I do love Chloe. I love what they do so much.
That bag
So
is a lot.
it's a beautiful bag.
It's a lot.
Beautiful bag. So when you're asking me about handbag
Handles.
handles, are you talking about whether they are slim or rolled? Like,
Slim, rolled, fat, flat, the whole thing.
again, for me, it has to do with how does that design detail sit with the aesthetic of the actual handbag in regards to if it's a softer bag, most likely the handle would be slimmer. If it's a more structured bag, it'd probably be rolled. I think comfort's critical to, and I think adjustability of a
For
handle.
a top handle, you think adjustability for a top handle?
No, I wish somebody could think through that
Oh, I
because,
think that'd be awesome.
yeah, but I mean, you could do it, but I wouldn't waste my time.
Well, people usually do. If they're doing it, they're going to do it for a crossbody strap.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of crossbody straps, what is your take on adjustability? Do you believe in buckles? Do you believe in hole punch? Do you believe in the dog clip, making it smaller?
I really,
bigger?
really think it has to do with the design and the designer. There's not one that I believe in. Frankly, it really is a combination of what the aesthetic is. I mean, we have a brand launching where we've given 2 straps, which I think is great because the bag or the design translates both ways, both adds sport and then as more dressy. I mean, that also is really an evolution of fashion. I mean, it's not that hard to see, but looking on the streets, think of the way women are dressing. People are going back to the office. Things are a little bit more feminine, a little girly. Doesn't then mean on the other side that there can't be there's huge opportunity to look at how women are dressing in sport. When you think of it 2 years ago with Challenger and tennis. So there's ski and tennis and golf and pickleball and soccer. And so again, paying attention to the market, you can see many brands. Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay.
I can.
You see many brands who, even outside of bags, collaborating with active sport. So to summarize, there's a trend with crossbody straps, and this is my opinion. It's really what fits the consumer and the brand. I do think that, in my opinion, it could be a little early, but with the change in weather that will continue, that there will be, I've read this, it's not that I'm making this up or, discovered it myself, but I do a lot of research that, and also it ties back to materiality. You will see more and more people running or playing sports in the evenings. And so with that, I could say that the idea of iridescence in materiality could affect the idea of how a crossbody strap would
Right.
translate day to evening and be of value.
If you ever wanted to start a handbag line and didn't know where to start, this is for you.
Living proof that independent designers can make it big.
Emily Blumenthal is one prime example.
If you had dreams of becoming a handbag designer and didn't know where to start, this is for you. If you have a handbag brand and are in need of strategy and direction, this is for you. I'm Emily Blumenthal, handbag fairy godmother and handbag designer expert, and this is Handbag Designer 101, the masterclass. Over the next 10 classes, I will break down everything you need to know how to make, market, and manufacture a handbag. broken down for you that you'll not only skip steps in that handbag building process, but also save money in that learning curve. For the past 20 years, I've been teaching at the top fashion universities in New York City, created the Handbag Awards, and also the Handbag Designer 101 podcast. I'm going to show you like I have countless brands from sketch to sample to shelf, whether you're just starting out and don't know where to begin, or even if you have a handbag line and just need some strategic direction, the Handbag Designer 101 Masterclass is just for you. So let's get started, and you will be the creator of the next It Bag. Join me, Emily Blumenthal, with the Handbag Designer 101 Masterclass. My littlest has Instagram and he has it on my phone, and it's only for his photography. It's funny, but usually we use it just so I can send him memes of animals, pandas rolling down the hill, just silly things. But I saw that in, I think it's Finland, they paint anytime they come across a reindeer that they will, or moose maybe, I can't remember, but they paint the antlers. They make sure that, so with an iridescent paint,
Isn't that
so they can be seen, because when it snows, you can't see them in the dark. But it's funny. And all I kept thinking about, and this is how my mind works, I'm like, oh, like a handbag. That's so funny. Like a handbag, because they're literally glowing in the dark. You just see these antlers glowing in the dark. And I thought, okay, that could be translated for a handbag.
And it has been, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly.
There's even materials that I've looked at, just have not found the right place to put it, where it's just plain white.
Yeah.
Then, you can put a message on it, and then in the sunlight, it says something.
Let's get to my next favorite topic, color. Now, because you and I talk about this all the time, I love it, about what are the must-have colors for a palette to make it successful. And how many colors do you think are necessary? Like the last time we spoke, and it's so unfortunate that we always need to have a black, a version of a brown, a version of an oxblood, which I hate, and then a muted, and then like an off-white. It's like paint chips. Like, what color are you going to paint the safe house in? Or the room that's a safe color. And then maybe if you can afford it, have a color pop, maybe a hot pink. I'm blah, blah, blahing, the best part of design. But what's your take on what's going on?
I believe in, I've said this as a new designer.
Yes.
And this doesn't then mean every new designer has to look the same.
Correct.
Before you know it, and it's direct to consumer and physical retail, right?
Correct.
And one's ahead of the other. And we all know the growth of DTC.
Yes.
Yet the investment sometimes to get the eyeballs there, unless you're...
Ironically, though, even with retail, so many retailers, like the big ones, will take on newer designers. And then the designers get so excited only to learn that it's drop ship.
But I think drop ship, Matthew, my dear colleague over here and friend, I learned so much from him.
It's an opportunity. You get to, it's kind of, as far as I'm concerned, the elevated way of saying consignment. However, when you're
It's a great way to also look at where consumers are shopping from. It could be identification of people love your products on the West Coast or in Australia, for whatever reason. So there is an advantage to that. And of course, there's also no liability.
But the flip side is though, it really depends of all the way going back to your cost. And, you do take that gamble of not knowing, or maybe if you're clever, you already do know what your bestseller theoretically would be, but that puts you at a risk of going into production and keeping your fingers and toes crossed that hopefully these will sell, or else I'm stuck with inventory. So you're at this like strategic juggle balance of inventory versus, oh my God, it's selling, versus I went into production so I could have some sort of economies of scale and lower my prices in order to sell it at an affordable price point. And hunky-do, look at this. It's not selling, or this one oversold versus this one. Is Matthew making faces at you?
No, he's leaving me my Christmas presence and Luis's presence. And
The problem with drop ship,
here,
the
come
problem,
over here, Matthew. We are a comedy show. Like literally, we should have a TV show.
the problem with
Hi,
drop
Matthew.
ship, hello. The problem with drop ship is one thing. The retailer has no skin in the game.
Correct.
Basically, they said, we'll allow you to use our website and you can put all your SKUs up, but we're not going to pay for them. And we're really not paying to ship them. We'll give you a little bit of money stipend for them. Meanwhile, they haven't purchased the inventory that they get part of the sale. But it is really, the fact is, and then you should use it as a SKU extension. So if you want to have the hot pink, lime green, and yellow, along with those basic SKUs, that's when I think drop ship is okay, because I understand that the retailer only has a certain amount of open to buy and it can only go so far. And peanut butter doesn't really spread evenly and cost the same. So I do think that it's okay, but you shouldn't, I don't think they should put all the responsibility on you to own the inventory, house the inventory, ship the inventory, and, we'll just benefit from the sale. It should be like anything, a partnership.
Do you think as a new designer, you're able to have some negotiating leverage with that? Or do you think you need to prove your worth?
I think sales prove everything, but I don't think it's an unreasonable request.
I think when you have someone guiding you.
No, so I think if they believe in it, So look at like what the Pressmans did years ago with Prada. They had that Prada, those nylon bags on the shelf. They didn't sell. They continued to believe in it, and finally it took.
That was at Bloomingdale's first, and then what?
It was supposed to be at Macy's, actually.
Oh my God.
But
Prada did a reverse.
But the Pressmans believed in it. They believed in it. They believed in it, and eventually it took.
And that is the same with it does not happen overnight.
But I don't believe that retailers should expect that the brand should have everything drop ship. But I do think it's a way to
test
and to also have color extensions. And if you really believe in the style and the retailer doesn't believe in it, it gives you the ability to put it up. And you can control your pricing. That's the other thing, because you're the one that really decides to mark it down and not mark it down. So you're basically controlling your own profit, but it doesn't allow you. It kind of can help you prevent you from getting all tangled up in, well, because it's, June 30th, we're going to mark down all white, or whatever. But you can kind of control your own inventory. So your own pricing. So I think that's a good thing. But
if they buy inventory, even if it's a little, then they own it, which then allows the retailer to
if it's a drop ship SKU, there's not supposed to be owning any of it.
No, but now she's saying beyond drop ship.
Oh, well, technically that's why you need to keep the color pure. So, once it's drop ship, they're not typically going to turn it on to a regular inventory thing until maybe the following season. But that's your only thing that can kind of help. And
what's the volume? And what is the volume season?
Well, the following season would be like the next spring. I'm just saying white. I'm saying white because it was spring. It would be the following spring.
And do you think, so you're saying use drop ship as an opportunity to test those pops of color?
Yeah, or maybe fabrication or whatever, At one point, Dillard's used to believe that all white had to be marked down at a certain time of the year, and they would just do these massive markdowns because that's what their customer dictate. That's what they kind of thought. Now they don't do that anymore because they've realized that, we all decided white does sell past Labor Day or whatever, or just like, it's like cold weather. Every scarf goes on markdown. Now it's just really the winter's just starting. It's late. We buy and bring it in way too soon and mark it down way too soon.
Which is thus why a new brand could bring newness and freshness, right? Where there's a test, because you're testing something without that huge upfront investment, right? And it's the freshness that really, it was the way we were taught at Bloomingdale's, the discovery of new, right? And that's the importance of
the
an
sad
emerging
thing
brand.
is I think most new brands need the revenue. So they don't really,
Right.
decide they're going to go and design a brand and bring it to fruition that everybody's just going to have it on drop ship because
Sure.
you only get paid. And then you get paid a certain amount of days after that sale. You don't get paid right away. So it's a difficult thing. I think big brands, you can basically put up your whole SKU catalog if you want to.
That said, so doesn't that take us back to the power of boutiques and having a strong D2C business? And boutiques, 9 times out of 10, you'll get paid up front. Boutiques, you can have a handshake relationship. Boutiques, you can swap out inventory if it's not working. Yes, Nancy.
I see on Instagram, all these ads that talk about that from experts, and I don't know who the experts are, but
I
just
don't know who those
advertisements
experts are
that
either.
talk about wholesale's dead, everybody's closed, don't focus on it. And
Yeah.
the reality, like any industry, things change. There's some incredible growth within specialty store retail.
100%.
I mean, we see it
100%.
with our own clients.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's easy and that the units are as massive, of course, as a large department store, but there is a resurgence to a specialty store retailer because it is
The hometown store kind of.
it's wonderful. I'm excited about it. That is where our focus is in regards to looking at retailers who are growing and trying to identify the right
That's what
partnership.
that's what I talk about, the essence of the hometown hero, and never sleep on it, because I'm sure you guys have dealt with designers that are almost apologetic that they don't live in metropolitan Los Angeles or Texas or Chicago or Atlanta or New York or any of those places. And I'd say, hold on. I'm sure you have beautiful people around you. I'm sure they shop someplace. I'm sure there's one local boutique that everybody goes to within a 50-mile radius from where you live. And the answer is always yes. And it's like, go there, talk to them, be that, let
There's
them
a
know you
style
exist.
expert in every hometown.
Yeah. And also, there are incredible retailers in New Jersey, Ohio, Iowa, Nebraska,
100%.
Minnesota.
Do you remember the InStyle editor who moved to Nebraska to open up a boutique? Same
Megan.
thing.
Megan?
I was shocked, and everybody was shocked. And it's like, no, she was open.
Matthew and I want to open a boutique.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm here for it.
It's Bethy.
Oh my God. Guys, I love our stream of consciousness. I can't wait. I'm going to see you guys the next New York Now. I hope we have some of your designers there. We have a great lineup of talent. And because I am going to keep having both of you back. I'm going to try and make sure I can lock in both of you because this is too much fun. How can we find you? It is. I know Matthew's giving me funny looks. If people are watching this on YouTube, I hope they're able to see this. But
I wanted to have it to get one before this. I just wanted to make sure that I do another shout out to Tony from Hammett.
Oh, why
Love
Tony?
him.
Why?
I just think that I just look at the brand and I always think, that is an example of staying the course, knowing who your customer is, and I just trust.
How can we find you, follow you, the Nancy Matthew dynamic duo? How can we find you?
At Accessory Think Tank.
Okay, at Accessory Think Tank. And it's Accessory Think Tank singular, correct?
Yes, it is literally accessory singular. Everyone thinks that it's not.
No.
But it is.
Okay, Nancy Forman,
Accessory
Matthew,
Think Tank.
Accessory Think Tank.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you want my handle? It's at,
Yes.
at the Accessory Think Tank.
Perfect. All one word.
Accessory
Yes.
Think Tank.
Yes. We've said it 3 times. And in marketing and advertising, that means the message should now be clear because it takes 3 times. We've said it 3 times. Huzzah. Thank you guys for joining. And,
Emily, always a
I'm gonna
pleasure. Thank you for your collaborative support and, really being a champion of designers for our industry.
Thank you guys. I'm going to have you on back again, as always.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to rate and review and follow us on every single platform at Handbag Designer. Thanks so much. See you next time.